I'm pretty sure we have all argued with a friend at some point about whether someone is attractive or not. The discussion usually ends with, "It's just a matter of taste. What could be perceived as attractive to me could be repulsive to you." That is true, because beauty is subjective. Except, not really. But what is beauty exactly? In one sentence, beauty is the harmony between what we see and what we feel. Since Snow White has been the talk on everybody's lips for the past couple of weeks, let's take it as an example. The story of Snow White is deeply rooted in beauty. Snow White's beauty is what makes the queen jealous, and what spares her in the forest, and what ultimately leads the prince to find and save her. For the live-action adaptation of Snow White, which was a chaotic mess by the way, part of the negative feedback that was given is due to the casting of the movie. Gal Gadot playing the evil queen and Rachel Zegler as Snow White was a subject that was heavily critiqued the entire time while the film was in production, and this is because many people perceive Gal Gadot to be more attractive than Rachel Zegler, which means there's no point in being jealous of her in the first place, defeating the purpose of the entire fairy tale. Even in subjectivity, there are trends, standards, points of convergence where large-scale agreement emerges. Of course, I'm not going to be speaking about how Snow White is tan, because that's besides the point. There are a lot of beauty standards: symmetry, height, teeth, but these standards change across cultures and time. For example, beauty standards for women have leaned toward thinner body types for decades, but women were considered beautiful if they were voluptuous in ancient civilizations. So, considering all of this, one could say that Gal Gadot is more attractive than Rachel Zegler, because she fits in the current beauty standards. She's taller, she has good posture. However, both of them managed to get cast in the movie, and that is because both of them are attractive in one way or another, because they sure as hell did not get cast because of their acting or attitude.
Kalel, no! I'm a narcissist!
So let me ask you this question. Is being attractive an advantage in life? And if yes, how much of an advantage? Does it just make you more appealing, or can it actually shape the course of your entire existence? In my opinion, we really underestimate the impact of looks. When we talk about how beauty influences life, we usually think of money, hence the video's title. Being beautiful can open more opportunities. Attractive people can land more jobs where being beautiful is a big criteria, like flight attendants, weather anchor, or modeling. Even though workplace discrimination based on looks is illegal, we all know employers often favor attractive candidates. We're not naive. In many job markets, physical appearance, especially weight and attractiveness, can unconsciously influence hiring decisions. This is what the study titled "Weight, Attractiveness, and Gender When Hiring" tried to uncover. Researchers sent more than 3,000 fictitious job applications across 12 occupations in Spain, each including a photo. All had similar qualifications, but the photos were modified. Some looked normal weight and attractive, others were slightly overweight and were considered less attractive. The results speak for themselves. Less attractive men received 26% fewer callbacks than attractive ones. This gap got bigger for industries that are dominated by females. Even in fields like accounting or engineering, where looks don't really matter, candidates that are considered more attractive were favored. But what's shocking is how it's the complete opposite for women. Female candidates that were considered overweight were called back more often, especially in the industries dominated by women. Women that were conventionally more attractive didn't get as many callbacks. Perhaps they were subject to jealousy and stereotypes from other female recruiters. However, being hired more easily doesn't automatically mean you're going to end up rich. But at least it opens up more opportunities and possibilities, right? Luigi Mangione. You have probably already heard this name before. His story went viral and sparked huge controversy online. In 2024, Luigi allegedly shot and unalived the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, in Manhattan, New York. US prosecutors have recently decided to seek the death penalty. And this should have been the end of the story, right? Well, not really. Luigi is young, only 26, and according to the internet, he is considered widely attractive. There have been thousands of videos about him online the minute he was revealed to the public, and he gained a huge following. Heck, even Luigi himself is overwhelmed by all this attention, and he pleads with fans to stop sending him photos and fan mail. If Luigi didn't fit society's beauty standards, there would have been no excitement whatsoever, and the story would probably blow over in a week or two. Aside from his appearance, Luigi was also considered to be a bright, smart individual, even by those who have never met him. This is because of stereotypes and cliches. There are many studies to back this up. Attractive people are often trusted and can appear more intelligent and nicer. This is what we call the halo effect. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where our overall impression of a person, often based on one positive trait like attractiveness, leads us to assume that they have other positive qualities, such as intelligence or kindness, even without evidence. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We don't live in a perfect world. Even the halo effect has its dark counterpart, and it is called the horn effect. The horn effect is a cognitive bias where one negative trait, like someone's appearance, tone of voice, or a single mistake, leads us to assume that they have other negative qualities, like being dumb, overweight, unworthy, untalented, even without proof. We use and are subject to the halo and horn effect every day, and since our childhood. Studies have shown that certain teachers in schools would give extra attention and care, be more lenient and flexible towards kids they would see as cute. A kid that benefits from the halo effect would feel more valued, grow more confident, and end up becoming that brilliant student the teachers made him or her out to be in the first place. It's a virtuous cycle. Unfortunately, if a teacher deems a kid to be less cute, by horn effect, they would also see him as less smart, lazy, dull, or disruptive. All of this because of looks that the kid didn't choose and doesn't even care about yet, which in return can make the child less invested at school and less successful later on. And that is very sad, because our appearance somehow shapes our future from the very beginning. It can either make our lives easier or make us struggle further, which brings me to the title of my video. Ugly people are poor and beautiful people are rich.
Huh?
Obviously, saying that would be a complete generalization and a stupid one, quite frankly.
Oh. Okay.
But there are some studies that show that people that are considered attractive can have higher salaries than those who are less visually appealing. Beauty does impact income, but luckily it's not the only criteria. So in a way, yes, beautiful people are rich, or maybe they are beautiful because they are rich. We all know when someone becomes more famous and get a lot of money, their appearance would improve in a way. We've seen this countless times, from Cristiano Ronaldo, Lady Gaga, Rihanna. Aside from the fact that most of the celebrities are in show business, so they kinda have to look good, their fortune still gives them access to a lot of ways to improve their physique, like Ozempic, plastic surgery, or stylists. This can also be applied to regular people at a lower scale. Being wealthy would give you the possibility to get a good haircut, buy really nice clothes, high-end perfumes, access to gym memberships with coaching, etc. So if you have money, you can take better care of yourself. And if you're attractive, you're more likely to get richer. But if you're less fortunate, well, it's the beauty on the inside that counts. Of course, I'm joking. The most important thing is to be more aware and conscious about how beauty affects our relationships and the environment around us. Yes, it's not good to judge a book by its cover, but as a book, you will always find a reader. It's time to face the truth and finally acknowledge that beauty plays a huge role in our lives. Whether we like it or not, conventionally attractive people get a free pass in life just because of the way they look. Pretty privilege is real, and the sooner we make peace with this fact, the sooner we can move on to more important things in life. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it with your beautiful friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.